Okay, it's usually my mistake. Here we go again. We're going to try again trying to make a record of the live, because the lives, I don't know where the live goes to live once we're finished, or goes to die, either one. So, all right. So, one of the phones is persona non grata. Not sure where it went. I love you guys very much. Thank you, Jordan. Guys, great. It might be a slow night. That's okay. Gotta have a few slow nights in there. I told you about the Zen teacher that I've had several Zen teachers over the years studying Buddhism and Rogue Buddhism. She started a new Zendo, and when you're the teacher of a Zendo, you go in at 5:30 in the morning, 5-6 days a week, and you sit Zazen, and people are supposed to come in and sit with you. This was a new Zendo, as I said, so even though she'd spread the word around town, nobody came for the first 6 months. And yet that teacher very diligently came in every morning for 5 mornings a week and sat the 40-minute period by herself. I just think that's a very, I don't know, I want to say courageous, and I mean courageous, but beyond courageous, just very bulldog tenacity, helping to create a space in which people would come. Very beautiful thing. So, she was one of my teachers for a while, and she's a very wonderful lady. You know I'm going to find that damn phone after the show's over, right? It's got to be the way it works. It's probably in the bed clothing somewhere, or it's in my, it could be in my fanny pack too. I went out earlier in the day, so it might be in the fanny pack. Anyway. All right, so here we are. I love you guys. Aw, Daniel, my goodness, roses. How lovely. I'm glad I noticed. Jeez, dude. What? That many roses, really? Thank you. That's a lot of money to spend, dude. Wow, I know those things are, well, money's tight on my life, so thank you so much. Oh, that's beautiful. Come on, man. That's beautiful. That's gorgeous. Yeah, I get it. I can't see your last name. First name is Daniel. Last name is D-O-U, but that's all I can see. 64? Oh, my God. Come on, dude. Wow, that's gorgeous. You're great. Wow, 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 wow. Someone said I'm their goat. Well, I don't think I'm talented enough to beat anybody's goat. Come on, dude, that's 98, 99. That's enough. Stop. Sugarfoot, dude. You're spending money. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Very surprised. Very wonderful. Thank you, Daniel. You must want something. My mind is dark. Sorry, guys. I've been through a lot, as you all know. I've mentioned several tragedies. Thank you, Daniel. That's marvelous. Geez. Dude. You know everybody is welcome to come on the show. Links are in the bio. Thank you, Daniel. 163 roses, that's a lot, dude. Oh, Daniel Douglas, okay. Yeah, just please, if we're not following each other, do that. And if we want to be on the show, everybody's invited, but you are too. And you are too. Yeah. Anyway, I'm kind of obsessing about the phone. I was going to turn to the computer and work on artificial intelligence stuff. I was working on LTX Studio earlier, writing a prompt about our new prices. Yeah, so I think I also have a subscription to InVideo, and I have a subscription to one that does where you put in a video and it makes like 10 or 20 clips. The most popular one, the one that started doing that for kind of first in the United States. I have that one, and I think I might have one called Rendora. Not sure. Anyway, I use the video related ones because obviously I do content creation. I forgot to go to a show today. I had a show with Dr. Cover. Don't remember her first name. And I messed up the time. She was back east, so it was going to be 4 p.m. her time, which would have been 1 p.m. California time, and I put it on my calendar as 4 p.m., so that would have been 7 p.m. her time, so I messed that up. I mess up several shows a month, 3 to 5, I would say, at least. She was very forgiving, but I was embarrassed, as always. And then Saturday I'm supposed to have, I don't think we have any shows tomorrow. Saturday we have a show with Rob Ralston, who is a coach for special needs families. He has an adult special needs son, and he also coaches families that have special needs children. He's been on the show a couple times. It's going to be on again Saturday at 9 a.m. We're going to tape it at that time. It's not live. At least I haven't done any shows live lately. I don't know if I'd be able to figure that out. But anyway, and then in the afternoon, we're hoping to do a show with... No, I think they're doing their show later. We have a show coming up with Mary Powers and Robin Edelman, and they have a company that's relatively new, and one of the words in the company is M-Agent, M-A-G-E-N-T, and they're going to give, like benefits to people, cost-cutting programs, cost cuts on food and clothing or something. I don't know the whole thing. And then on Saturday also there's going to be a People for a New America telethon around the United States. One piece is in Los Angeles, and that's being organized by a whole ton of people, one of whom is Kurt Roskoff. PFANA is People for a New America. Their website is pfana.org. And then this week I was in touch with Mac Gluckstein, who lives up in Canada and is a LinkedIn master. And I think he also sells gifts, like gifts that you would buy for your employees or such. So a lot of people, I've met hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, obviously, over the years doing a TV show. Those are some of the ones just from the last few days. Hoping to have Deacon Albert Patterson on again. He's one of the people I know from Legal Shield. I became a Legal Shield customer myself. Not an agent, but a customer. Yeah, lots of other things I could say. I'm really tired tonight. When I woke up this morning, sometimes when I wake up in the morning, 2 or 3 days a week, my eyes are just pretty much unusable. And they feel like a hair or a sty has gotten into the eye and is temporarily causing me to not be able to see through my eye, which is problematic because one eye is blind. So I only have one eye that really works very well. The blind one is oh, I don't know, 80-90% blind. I can see big newspaper headlines, if anybody knows what a newspaper is. Nobody in this world. What's a newspaper, Grandpa? Well, Sonny, the internet used to be made out of trees. We would put things on the tree wood after we made it really thin, and we'd put words on there and people would read them. What's reading, Grandpa? Well, honey, etc., etc. You guys can throw pizza at me if you want. Yeah, so I've got one phone here that I'm not using, the Navy one. So I don't know. Did I go anywhere today? I didn't actually go anywhere today, so it's not in the. I thought it was plugged in over here, but I don't see that either. But you know darn well it's going to show up 32 seconds after the end of the show. Anyway, whatever. So, any questions? I haven't even looked to see. Just followed you. Thank you very much. I love the Batman suit. Josh Allen. I know I haven't really been paying attention to who's in here. Bible reading. I actually have spent some time studying the Bible. Didn't remember anything, but user and then a number that's 47 characters long. Grace. Hi, Grace. Grace. We got 831 likes, which is pretty good, pretty reasonable. I'm not unhappy with that. We got one person in here, exactly one. Maybe that's me, I don't know. Someone, Valdez, has lit up all the da-da-da. Someone sent TikTok universe to the magic cloak. I don't know what any of that means. EL1Z4RT. Hi, Ty. Hi, Kayla. Okay. Alright, kids, thanks for joining. If you guys have something you want me to talk about or whatever, let me know. I have lots of things I could talk about. I often talk about my hometown of Vermillion, Ohio. I was there 20 years. Hitchhiked out of there to go to Phoenix. I was in Phoenix about 1 or 2 years, where I worked as a fry cook at Hobo Joe's, which is a restaurant that existed at that time. And then, what did I do next? I hung around in Arizona for a while, lived at 16th and Thomas. I lived at a church in Tempe for a while in the back as a security guard, quote-unquote security guard. I made a lunch program for Arizona State students, and I went to a grocery store named Bash's with the church's money and permission, and would make lunches each day. What's your favorite college football team? I'm very prejudiced when it comes to this subject because Ohio State. I'm from Ohio. Ohio State's probably the best team in that state, and they do a famous thing at halftime called Script Ohio, where they write out the word Ohio. My brother went to Ohio State. I went to Bowling Green State. He finished. I didn't finish. Don't say Ohio State. No, sorry, dog. Gotta say Ohio State. It's a good place. It's, life is life, man. Every place you could say something good and bad about. Okay, what do we got here? Last person I invited in just spent their time talking to their own peeps and homies and not having a conversation with me, so I don't know whether this invite people in thing. Hi, Drill. Madison and Drill Edits. Maybe he's a drill sergeant, maybe not. Krish.P15. Alright, Drill Edits 234, Ty, Drill Edits 34, Drill Edits 34. Okay. Ty liked the live. Thank you, Ty. And Madison, you got the number 3 gifter badge. Welcome. Okay, guys. Yeah, let's see. I could tell you a funny story. I told somebody today that I would tell this story, so I'm going to tell a story. I was married twice. My first wife and I, interesting story. Second wife and I got married in like 81 or so. And I mentioned to her when we were courting, back in the day, people used to actually court each other. And I told her I don't fix things. I'm not good with physical objects. I don't fix stuff. I do not fix stuff. So she married me anyway. About 5 or 6 years later, the mirror came down in the bathroom. She said, "Would you fix that?" I said, "Honey, really, I don't fix stuff." She said, "No, just put the mirror back up on the wall." You guys already knew I was an idiot, but now I'm going to prove it. So I put the mirror back up on the wall, and of course it slipped and crashed onto the sink. And in that particular house or townhouse, the bathroom sink was kind of between the bathroom part and the bedroom in the carpeted area. So of course the little shards of glass got all over the inside of the carpet. And to make matters even more fun, my wife asked me to do it again, and I broke another mirror, and then I broke a third mirror. I really didn't do it on purpose, I swear to God, Lord is my witness, Just, living the dream, being a klutz. Anyway, hello, Eric. I think I recognize your name from other nights. Samantha, hello. Patel seems like a pretty common name. Indian, I would imagine. Anyway, so after 3 or 4 mirrors, she came to me in a very angelic way. Wonderful lady. She said, "Maybe we should get somebody to come out and fix it." I said, that sounds like a good idea. Boy. Krish Patel, isn't he the FBI director at this point or something? I don't know. Is he your dad or something? He's cool. Well, I don't know about all that. Okay. Got the number 2 badge. Got the number 3 badge. Congratulations. Send a gift. Thank you. Eric Trejo. Yeah, so that's that story. I got thousands of stories. I got tons of very corny jokes. And I can always go on Gemini and get lots more corny jokes. Someone who sent Heart Puff, thank you. You wrote your name so small I can't see it. But that's life in the big city, I guess. Yeah, what else? Just lots of memories over a lifetime, fun stuff. My brother was older than me by 4 years, passed away already in life. He had a paper route. We live in Vermillion, Ohio, so the only fairly large paper nearby, there was a Vermillion paper. In fact, there were two Vermillion papers. One was called the Vermillion News. One was called the Vermillion Photo Journal. But my brother was a paper boy for the Lorraine Journal, which was the nearest quasi big city, Lorraine, Ohio. So He did the paper route, and then when he got too old to do it, he somehow passed it to me. And we didn't, we weren't poor, but we certainly didn't get much of anything in the way of gifts or clothes or that. But somehow I got a new bicycle, to work my paper route. Nova invites you to co-host. I would like to decline temporarily, Nova, because I don't know how to do that. Maybe someday I'll get brave enough. I apologize for. It takes me forever to learn anything. Just followed you. Thank you, young man. Looks like a young man there. Burke. Okay. Oak Tree. I don't know how to do these invites, you guys, and I don't know whether they're. Hi, Burke. Hi, Gianna. Samantha. So anyway, he gave me the paper route. I got a new bike with big racks in the back to carry the papers. It was rather fun because we didn't get to do much of anything in our childhood. So that was fun. I did have one time over the years I was a paper boy where a dog attacked me pretty severely. Well, that was the only real attack. It was some couple that lived kind of back in the woods, and they were at one of the three ends of where our street was Burns Road, and it went perpendicular into Darrow, so I worked all three of those ends of the perpendicular streets. We had a man on our route named Rudy Mack, who was at that time was a locally famous portrait photographer. Most of the people in the neighborhood I really didn't know very well. There was a family, the Myers family, lived at the T of Barnes and Darrow, and they had 5 girls, and all the girls' first names started with a D. Yo-Yo, please, I apologize, honey. I just don't know a lot about doing that. I'll have to research how to do that, co-hosting on an invite. But thank you. Thanks for the rose, Nicole, and thank you again to that young man whose name I already forgot. Glad I told you guys I have dementia, who sent me 167 roses. Thank you so much for that. It's very, very kind of you. Way, way kind. Alright, kids. So one time, every winter I had to take the papers out on the sled because the snow would come up. And sometimes it would be so cold that even though in a place like Ohio you wear like 2 pairs of gloves, 2 pairs of socks, when I got home I would hold my frozen hands over the space heater in the garage and try to thaw them out. But all in all, it was fun. She taught me something, I don't know what. And then at age 14, I started mowing lawns. One of the teachers at Vermillion High School, his name was Harold Walker, and his wife Sarah. These people are probably long gone by now. They had the mowing contract for the city parks for Vermillion. So we would mow the parks every summer, and we had several residential, the well-to-do residential contracts as well. It was his thing. A bunch of us kids worked for him. He had a big pickup truck with all of the lawn mowers, and we would go out and do what is called cutting in. So with a big piece of land, we'd cut around all the trees and whatnot, so he could then come in with a tractor and do the rest. So that was fun. I liked school. I was a fairly good student. I usually sat up in the front, which pissed off the other students. my perception was I didn't have friends in school. I found out 50 years later that some of the people in my high school class did think that we were friends, and were surprised to find out that I didn't think we were friends. But my home life and my brothers and sisters' home life was very guarded. We didn't know anything about culture. To this day, I feel like I don't know a single thing about culture. Don't know how to eat at a formal table with knives and forks. But I've heard that you're supposed to move from the outside in, or I think the outside in, yeah. So, yeah, we lived on 2/3 of an acre, had 100 chickens, 31 cats. I don't think I've told you guys that one yet. The magic of not getting spayed and neutered. And who's on here now? We have exactly one person on here, and that might be Underwear Jock, or it might be Underwear Jock, or it might be Burke. Now we have 3 people. Oh my God. Magic of mathematics. So yeah, 31 cats, 2 dogs, a parakeet. It was fun. I liked high school. I liked geometry, history, English. Started being a poet at age 15, so by the time I got to high school, I was very interested in poetry. We had 200 students in our high school. I graduated 6th in a class of 200, so top 3%. I got a very small scholarship called the Peter and Leah Full Scholarship. Helped pay for some of my books. I did get some help from the state of Ohio to pay for college. I did work a part-time job at a gas station, but it didn't pay nearly enough to pay any of it, so I managed to get through 2 years of college. How I ever did that is beyond my comprehension. So first year was at a local satellite of Bowling Green State called Firelands College, which I think has changed its name since then. It was here in Ohio. And one of my teachers was a quite wonderful man named Dr. Joel Rudinger. Very wonderful English teacher. Learned a lot about poetry from him. Then I went to the main campus in Bowling Green, and that was a disaster. I'd never been in a place that was that metropolitan, because I grew up out in the country. Totally lost my way. Took on way too much of everything. Too much social life. Too many classes. Too high a level of classes. Too much protesting. Bottom line is I did manage to last a year there, but my GPA went from like 3.2 to 2.2. At the end of the second year, I just dropped out and started hitchhiking around the country. And by then, I'd grown my hair out and was wearing an army fatigue jacket, which I kind of regret on some level, because 30 or 40 years ago, I got a newfound appreciation of our troops. So I realize now that the people in the government who wanted to make a mess out of Vietnam were not the soldiers. They were just following orders. It was all the honchos that made those mistakes. So yeah. And I've lived in California now for about 50 years. Started out in East Palo Alto. Then I lived in Palo Alto itself, over by Churchill, Almond Churchill. And I lived in Sunnyvale on Kingfisher Terrace. Then I lived on Seaford Avenue in San Jose across from Princeton Plaza. And then my wife died in 95. So we lost our place. Mostly be my fault, honest to God. If I told you what I did, you guys would have me shot. Samantha Carson Boy, Dana. Alright, you guys, that's good enough. Thank you. I don't know how we have only 3 people, but 4.3 thousand likes. Whatever, I don't understand the internet. So, yeah, so she passed away. I went into a terrible funk for a year or more. I lived in her car for a while because, like I said, we lost our place. Then I went into some HUD housing for a while. Then I moved in with a couple of gay guys down in the part of San Jose where the IBM plant is, the Cottle Road area. And those guys would fight with each other, fist fight at night. That scared the hell out of me, so I moved somewhere else, and then eventually I got an apartment over on South 5th and East Reed in San Jose, a couple of blocks from me in San Jose State. I think my therapist at the time knew somebody who worked in housing, and they found me the place. Anyway, that was a nice place for me, very comfortable. I love living near the university. The rent was very reasonable. I stayed there from about 98 to 2014. And I'll tell you the rest of that story some other time. Just remind me. I haven't been looking at the time. Oh my goodness, it's 8:40. We have 5 minutes left. Have you guys been asking me any questions? Good night, Mark. Take care, guys. Love you. 0407. Thank you, Karsten Boy, Charlie. I haven't been calling out the names as much as I usually do. Jeremy has lit up all gifts in their gift gallery. I don't know what that means when somebody does that. Charlie, like the live. Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate it. It only takes one person, believe me. I usually don't stay with lives when I'm in them. I doom scroll. I really do. Hello, Hope. Hello, Estella. Hello, Lucas. Hello, Ari. Hope, Charlie. Estella. Just got the #1 gifter badge. Congratulations. So I wore this shirt tonight. I don't remember wearing this shirt too much, but I love t-shirts. It's about all I wear. Well, I mean, you know what I mean. I don't wear dress shirts. I wear polo shirts sometimes, but not very often. So, yeah. Hi, Ira. I-R. Is it Lyra? L-Y-R-A or I-R-Y-A? I think you were on last night, maybe, too. Yeah, so that's that part. A lot of stories in my life, but usually I can't remember them unless something in my current environment reminds me of a situation. You know, like when I worked as a fry cook at Hobo Joe's, there were 2 of us cooks when it was busy, 2 of we cooks, however that goes. Thank you so much, Lyra, that I slay. Anyway, we used to have fun. When you work breakfast, you got to be able to do a lot of things really fast, including flipping eggs fast. We would try to get fried eggs, to stick on the ceiling. So we would cook an egg and then try to throw it up and see if we get it to stick on the ceiling. It was one of our fun things to do to entertain ourselves whenever we're going crazy, cooking 900 meals. We had a promotion. You kids are not going to believe this. This was 1971 probably. All the pancakes you could eat on Tuesday morning from 6 a.m. to noon for 49 cents. And guess who cooked all those pancakes? Guess who learned how to flip a pancake without even putting the spatula all the way underneath it? We had rows of 4 pancakes, 4 or 5 rows on each grill. You just went and put them on the plates. Pretty crazy. So, yeah, guys, I love you. Hello, user 3468092777731. We got 1 minute left, kids. You know I leave. Hello, whoever called me Big Papa, thank you. I love you guys. I love you with all my heart. You guys, please take care. Pray for your families. I'm doing a prayer tonight for a friend's friend who is family member passed away, and she's got to go back east and be part of the ceremony. How was my day? It was all right. I'm tired, but I'm pretty much tired every day. We did hit 5,000 likes. That's better than I thought we did most days. Only 5 people in here, but that's divine. That's wonderful. 661.Alexis4. Never thought of starting my name with numbers. Maybe she got that from Elon Musk or something. I don't know. All right, kids, that's our time. 8:45. Someday I'll invite my housemate to come in and sit with us. I doubt if she will. She's the gal who did all these paintings. Homestead. Who might call Homestead. She's got 427 of these, and as I mentioned earlier, she is willing to make reprints for you guys for the right price. So, take care. I love you all very much. See you tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Pacific. Mark signing off, kids. Take care. All right, let's kick this. Okay. I never know how to sign off. I think I just turn off the phone. That's how I get out of the off. Where do lives go after we're done? I have no idea. Alright guys, I'm going to turn this one off too because it's 37 minutes. Thank you all. At least now we have a record of the live because I don't know where lives go. So, booga booga.